Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. Not another power cut. John chapter 8 and verse 12 says, Once more Jesus addressed the crowd. He said, I am the light of the world. He who follows me will not walk in the darkness, but will have the light of life. When I was growing up, we were accustomed to power cuts. Certainly in my community, all the homes had electricity, but I would be hard-pressed to find a home without at least one oil lamp. More like 2 or 3 was more the common thing. The electricity would go out for any reason at any time, such as downed power lines, hurricane winds, load shedding, that was a common explanation, or some other reason of malfunctioning at the local power plant. Undoubtedly, a power cut would be a great inconvenience by day, but at nights it was horrendous. With so few lamps in a home, you had to be intentional about moving from one room to the next. Flashlights and candles were staples. What's a home without these backup items? My parents would worry about food going bad in the refrigerator if the power was out for long. For me, it's the television that I missed. You will agree that a power cut is a huge inconvenience, which is why generators are so popular where I live. But there's a bigger and worse power cut that I want us to talk about. The text tells us of a bold claim that Jesus made of himself in Jerusalem, the capital city of Israel. Without fanfare, but with a gracious certainty, he announced to friends and detractors alike, I am the light of the world. He who follows me will not walk in the darkness, but will have the light of life. What did Jesus mean by that statement? Let us turn the pages of the Bible in the opposite direction. Earlier in this book, in John chapter 3, Jesus threw some light on another discussion. This is why people are condemned. The light came into the world, yet people loved the dark rather than the light because their actions were evil. People who do what is wrong hate the light and don't come to the light. They don't want their actions to be exposed. But people who do what is true come to the light so that the things they do for God may be clearly seen. That is John 3:19-21. Do you see what Jesus is getting at? He declared that he is the light of the world, but he makes a strong and conclusive claim. He, being light, has come into the world, but that there are people who condemn themselves because they choose darkness, which was obviously around before Jesus, rather than light, because the darkness provides a cover for the evil actions. Wow. In other words, if you live a life of evil, then you automatically love darkness and will not come into light, or more clearly, will not come to him because he is light. And being light, there is no accommodation in him for evil. In fact, if you come to Jesus, you are choosing light because you are rejecting evil, and if you have no reason to hide your actions from God. The room is still, but not because everybody agrees. Jesus is stepping on some toes just about now. Are you in the light or are you in darkness? It is one or the other. But let us go on. Let us continue reading backwards as we land in John chapter 1. Here we hear John writing about Jesus before he came to earth, and he had this to say. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. This is some revelation. This is so bright. Jesus is life, and his life translates as light, light for all mankind. As light, Jesus shines into the darkness, and the darkness has had to submit to him. Slow down, Clyde. Explain that. The world was in darkness, spiritual darkness. What that means is that evil was the prevailing lifestyle for all the world. This evil was embedded in our humanity because of the bloodline we all came through, that is from Adam. And the bloodline was corrupted when the brother sinned in the garden. Every one of us came into darkness. Every one of us was born with the darkness mentality. Our deeds are evil. Cain killed his brother Abel. Rampant sexual immorality was noted in the days of Noah and certainly part of the story of Lot. Stealing and cheating in Canaan in Genesis, idolatry in Genesis, drunkenness in Genesis, deception and lies in Genesis, rape and corruption in Genesis. Man, I know you get the picture. From the beginning of the human race, there was evil. Jesus knew what was going on in the earth. The whole earth was in darkness, and so he was right when he said that people loved darkness rather than light, because evil is concealed in darkness. Darkness is a perfect environment for evil that human beings are known to enjoy. Jesus said, I'm the light of the world. I'm come to dispel darkness. When I come, darkness has to flee. Now that I have come, evil is on the run, because as light, I bring light, and the light I bring completely overcomes darkness. Have you ever been in a dark room and someone brings in a flashlight or a candle? The effect is immeasurable. That's what Jesus does when he comes into a life. He drives out darkness, the darkness of evil, and he replaces it with light, the light of truth and goodness. Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense why some people cannot accept Jesus because they can't see themselves not living with the evil habits that they have grown to love? But Jesus is still light because Jesus is alive. And as a result, he continues to drive out darkness. He continues to offer the best deal. Step out of darkness. Step out of the evil lifestyle and step into light. No more power cut, because light has come into your world and he comes to stay.